The Arctic winter sun rose low on the horizon, emitting a pale, cold light like metal. The ice stretched endlessly. The wind whistled through the crevices, whipping tiny snowflakes that stung their faces. On that white ice, a few silhouettes moved slowly but with concentration. They were seal hunters, and today, they set out without ships, without modern guns, only long spears, wooden sticks, and knives made from hand-forged steel. Primitive tools that had survived for generations. This was a primitive way of hunting, originating from the time when their ancestors lived entirely off the sea and ice. Each person wore a thick, heavy animal skin coat, lined with soft fur to protect against the biting cold. On their heads, they wore hoods that covered their heads, revealing only their eyes, which were squinting from the strong wind. At their waist, a curved knife was placed in a leather sheath. And in their hands, a long spear with a polished, sharp iron tip. They moved in a horizontal line, a few dozen meters apart, their steps light but sure. Every step on the ice required listening for the sound under their feet. If they heard a slight crack, they would immediately stop and find a detour, because the thin ice could collapse at any moment. Without a boat to return quickly, a fall into the sub-zero water would mean death within minutes. From afar, a hunter signaled. On the ice floe not far away, several seals were resting, their bodies covered in dark gray fur, and a baby with pure white fur was nestled next to its mother. Everyone immediately lowered their bodies, advancing step by step, so quiet that only the sound of the wind could be heard. In their hands, the spears were tightly held, the tips pointed at the prey, when they were only about 10 meters away. The hunter in front stood up, exerting all his strength, and swung the spear. The sharp tip of the spear tore through the air, piercing straight into the chest of the large seal. It jumped up, let out a deep cry, and then thrashed violently. Immediately, two others rushed forward, wooden clubs slashing down to quickly finish. Dark red blood flowed out, spreading long streaks on the white ice. The seal's downfall was only the beginning. The hunter quickly drew his spear. Night fell fast and hard on the Texas plains. A full moon hung low in the sky, illuminating the endless fields of corn, soybeans, and hay. The wind carried the scent of earth, trees, and even wild pigs, a pungent scent that only seasoned hunters could detect from a distance. At the edge of a field, a group of farmers were quietly preparing. They wore brown and green camouflage, rubber boots that gripped the damp ground, and each held a rifle or shotgun. Some had night vision goggles on their heads, their eyes glowing pale green in the moonlight. No one spoke loudly, only signaling with their hands. They knew that wild pigs had very good hearing, and that at the slightest noise, the entire herd would disappear into the night, leaving behind a plowed field as if it had been plowed by a hurricane. A few hundred yards away, a giant cage trap had been set up that afternoon. The steel frame was almost as tall as a person, and the door was specially hinged to collapse when the pigs came in to eat the bait. Inside, golden corn cobs were strewn across the floor of the trap, their sweet scent wafting through the night breeze, drawing keen noses from deep within the forest. A small infrared camera was mounted on a nearby tree, transmitting live images to one of the group's phones. The sound of a small engine could be heard in the distance. Another group of hunters was patrolling the area on all-terrain vehicles. In the open, sparsely forested areas, ATVs with powerful headlights helped them approach quickly when they spotted a herd of pigs. Some groups chose to lurk from above, building wooden or metal hunting huts near the spots where pigs frequented. Patiently waiting for hours. Suddenly, the signal from the camera vibrated. On the screen, several looming black figures appeared, their noses pressed to the ground, their tails wagging. The leader, large, with dark fur, and shoulders as high as a small buffalo, led the way. Stepping into the trap, followed by the medium-sized ones and their nimble offspring. As the last pig stepped through the door, a dry bang sounded, and the iron door slammed shut. The whole herd panicked, squealing, and rammed against the cage walls, shaking violently. The group of farmers quickly ran over. One used a flashlight to check carefully, making sure none of the pigs was stuck in the door. Then, each pig was restrained with a rope or a special stick. Healthy adults were taken down on the spot with a pistol or knife, while piglets were sometimes kept for breeding or sale. In another field, a completely different method was taking place. Two men stood a few dozen meters apart, each holding an AR-15 semi-automatic rifle with a silencer. They moved slowly, listening to every rustle of leaves. Suddenly, a loud noise rang out from the bushes. The herd of wild boars was running straight toward the edge of the field. Fire! A short command rang out, and a series of bullets tore through the night. The dirt kicked up under the pigs. Some fell, the rest scattered in all directions. Hunting wild pigs is not just a fight to protect crops. In many states, it is legal to kill them year-round, with no limit on their numbers. Because the species' reproduction rate is almost uncontrollable, an adult female can give birth to 2 litters a year, each litter of 4 to 12 pigs. And the piglets take only a few months to mature. That means that without constant hunting, their numbers will increase exponentially. There are professional hunting teams hired just to deal with this problem. They bring along trained hunting dogs, using their sense of smell and speed to corner the pigs. The barking of the dogs echoes in the night, the roar of the pigs responding, the sound of people running on dry land, all combine to create a chaotic but dramatic scene in the arid West Texas landscape that stretches to the horizon. A team of professional hunters is preparing for the most extreme option, hunting from the air. The black helicopter with its speakers and thermal camera starts up, the rotors spinning vigorously, sending dust flying. Inside the cabin, 2 gunners wear light protective gear, headphones, and fully loaded semi-automatic rifles. As the plane lifts off, the entire ranch appears like a living map. Infrared cameras scan the sparse forest and fields, revealing moving dots of light, the wild pigs. The pilot tilts the plane, dives low, the sound of the rotors drowning out all other sounds. Below, the pigs startle and run, but the wide open space gives them no cover. Left, 200 meters away, the pilot's voice rings in his headset. A burst of bullets flies, dust rises, and several fall immediately. In less than 15 minutes, more than a dozen have been taken down. In another state, Georgia, many farmers go the more traditional route, dirt traps and pitfalls. They dig deep holes near where the pigs frequent, cover them with grass and soil, and spread corn or fruit as bait. When the herd runs through, the heaviest animals fall to the bottom of the hole, while the rest panic and run away, leaving clear tracks for hunters to follow. These traps are inexpensive, but require a thorough understanding of the pig's paths and habits. During the day, farm work goes on as usual, but when dusk falls, life here changes completely. Farmers change their work clothes for hunting gear, shoulder guns, and helmet flashlights. Children older than 12 also follow their fathers into the fields, not to shoot, but to learn how to track, observe, and distinguish animal sounds. Here, hunting wild pigs is not just about protecting crops, it is also part of survival education. But no matter the method, danger lurks. Adult wild boars can weigh more than 150 kilograms, run at speeds of up to 50 kilometers per hour, and are ready to charge straight at humans when cornered. There are stories of hunters being seriously injured by being go-red, or falling while chasing them in the dark. Therefore, each hunt is a test of agility, strength and experience. Many communities have turned wild boar hunting into a major event. Who caught the most? Competitions are held annually, with prizes of cash or farming equipment. Participants come from all over, bringing all kinds of vehicles, from pickup trucks, ATVs to even horses. The atmosphere is bustling, but underneath is a common spirit: to minimize the damage caused by this species. When the night is over, the killed pigs are gathered into piles. Some will be taken to restaurants specializing in wild meat. Others will be processed on the spot into sausages or smoked. Sick or undersized ones are often buried or disposed of to prevent the spread of disease. This can last until dawn, when the farmer returns home, only to resume the following evening. And so the cycle of hunt-destroy-hunt repeats itself, just as in the remote Arctic, where humans relentlessly track seals to survive. Here in America they relentlessly track another species, but this time, it is an invader they cannot completely eradicate. They can only contain, night by night, season by season, year by year. On a hot summer night in Florida, an afternoon rain shower had left puddles all over the sugarcane fields. The smell of damp earth and rotting leaves filled the air. These were perfect conditions for wild pigs to appear, because after the rain, earthworms and insects rose to the surface, luring them out of the undergrowth. The Miller family's hunting party was familiar with this time of year. They had built a tall wooden hut at the edge of the field, more than 10 feet above the ground, enough to observe the entire area and avoid being attacked by wild pigs. Below, wooden bait troughs filled with corn mixed with molasses gave off a strong, sweet scent. In each hand was a bolt-action shotgun, hand-loaded but highly accurate, suitable for placing sure shots into the head or heart of the prey. The sky was getting dark. Only the faint light of the moon filtered through the clouds. The chirping of insects created a continuous background noise. Then suddenly, a soft rustle sounded from the edge of the field. Everyone fell silent at once, eyes glued to the scope. A large shadow, with high shoulders and a long snout, was stepping out, sniffing continuously. Behind it was a whole herd, of all sizes, the largest weighing over 120 kilograms. They approached the bait trough, engrossed in eating. Unaware that above, the guns had fixed their targets. Now, the whisper barely escaped their lips. And immediately, 2 dry explosions rang out. The 2 largest fell to the ground. The remaining herd panicked and scattered. Another shooter aimed his gun, shooting down another one that was trying to escape over the fence. In less than 30 seconds, the 3 big ones were down, and the rest of the herd disappeared into the darkness. After making sure the area was safe, the hunters climbed down. They quickly checked each pig's wounds to make sure they were completely dead, avoiding the situation where the wounded pig would rise up and counterattack. The dissection was done on the spot. The sharp knife cuts through thick skin, fat and muscle. Wild boar meat hunted in the summer is often fattier, but still fragrant and firm. Some of the meat will be brought back to be processed into fresh sausages that night. The rest will be frozen for later use. Thousands of kilometers away, in the state of Oklahoma, the hunting style is completely different. Hunting with dogs. The hunting dogs are specially trained to sniff out and herd pigs into favorable positions. When they smell their target, they rush at terrifying speed, barking loudly to alert their master. The barking echoes in the night forest, mixed with the pigs bellowing in response. The hunters run after them, the flashlights on their helmets casting intermittent streaks of light through the tree trunks. When they reach the spot, they use ropes to wrap around the pig's hind legs, restrain it and kill it with knives or shotguns. This method requires the hunter to be extremely agile and brave, because wild boars in a surrounded state will recklessly attack, goring straight at humans or hunting dogs. Many times, deep wounds caused by boar tusks forced hunters to go to the hospital with dozens of stitches.